Welcome to Stayf Drawers. I'm Stayf, an illustrator and animator. And in this video I'm going to discuss the color scheme Triad. And it's the use of 3 colors. So let's get to the video. I had a lot of questions about how to use the right colors in your paintings. In school you learned about the primary colors, red, yellow and blue. And the secondary colors, green, purple and orange. That are mixes of the primary colors. When you mix them all, you will get brown, the tertiary color. It's the basic theory of color. But that doesn't help you much. When you only use these colors, your images look very harsh. To get better results, you can use the values within the colors. If you want to know how values work, watch my video about values. The same applies to using colors. You can use all the values to get more dynamic pictures. In many digital software there is a color wheel or a classic color picker. They can help you to find the right color combination or color harmony. White and black are not colors. When you add white to your color, it is a tint. When you add black to a color, it's called a shade. And when you add gray to a color, the result is a different tone. When you use the color picker in Procreate, you can easily see what all the sliders are for. With the top slider you control the color hue. With the middle slider you control the tint. And with the third slider you control the shadows in your color. These are all the values of your color. But when you want to choose a color scheme, it's best to switch to the color wheel. Press on the Actions button and then on the Prefs tab. Then toggle off the classic color picker. When you now tap on the color, you see the color wheel. Outside there is the hue ring. There you can choose all your colors. Inside you can choose all the values of your color. I've made this painting of Cupid 2.0 using only 3 colors. There are 6 different color harmonies you can use. Complementary, analogous, triadic, split complementary, rectangle or tetradic, and square. In this image I used the color harmony Triadic. For all the color harmonies you can use basic shapes, like a square, rectangle, or triangle or triad. First choose your base color, then choose the other 2 colors by picking the colors opposite of your base color using a triad. My base color is blue, my second color yellow, and my third color red. You can use this method all around the coloring. Choose a base color and then your opposite 2 colors. I've just added my 3 colors on top of my image. To get the best result is to use one color as your base color and the other 2 colors for accents. Because it's almost Valentine's Day, I came up with the idea to make Cupid more contemporary. What would he use instead of his bow and arrow? I gave him a smartphone to make people fall in love. Nowadays there's a lot of dating apps, and if you swipe right, you might have a match. In order to draw a baby-like character, I did a lot of research of what babies look like. So I searched Google images on babies, baby butts, curly hair and wings. All of these pictures I used as reference to make the sketch. Lately I use a lot of reference in my paintings. I used to wing it, but that will only get you so far. Now you can find everything you need on Google. I did several studies and different poses. So I made a new design, and I also drew a frame around the painting. and it was a little bit inspired by the art of a great American artist called J.C. Leyendecker, and he was an illustrator who illustrated a lot of magazines in the beginning of the 20th century, and he has been an inspiration to a lot of illustrators and also painters. I'm now just painting in the mid-tones of the Cupid, and that's always a good start, a good starting point to start painting, because when you have the mid-tone of a color, it's a way that you can see what the dark colors will be and where you have to put the highlights. And I'm just using 3 colors, so it's the aqua blue, red, and yellow. And I'm just painting with one brush, and it's a brush in Procreate. It resembles a little bit an oil brush, and I painted everything with the same brush. And now I laid out some reds, and it's a little bit too strong, but you can just paint over it. And there's some different light sources. There's a light source coming from above, and also the light source that comes from the smartphone. So that's also valuable information you can use, and to create a more dynamic picture. There's also some ambient light coming from below. So the cheeks of the Cupid has a little bit of ambient light. And I used a reference also for the wings, and I also used reference pictures of babies, because they have they're so cute, because the head is much bigger than the body, and they're very chubby. And later on I decided to color the smartphone gray, because there's just a lot of yellows, and I just needed a color that would pop up. And I used the gray of the blue, and blue is a cold color, and red and yellow are warm colors. And if you want to make your image pop out, it's always good to use cold colors against warm colors. And the image of the smartphone wasn't right yet, so I had to tweak it, and you can also do that in Procreate. I'm now just painting the background white. I first wanted to do it black, but I really like the painterly look of the wild strokes. And now I'm using my iPhone as reference to draw this smartphone, and I'm just using the grays of the color blue. I'm drawing this with the Apple Pencil, and I'm using a stand, and that's called Johan. I already did a review about the iPad stand Johan, and I'll leave a link in the description box down below so that you can see the review about the Johan stand. And I find it very useful to draw with, because you can draw with it on a table or even on your lap. And I'm now using a quick line. So if you're drawing a line and you hold it, then it will become a straight line. And I just made the iPhone a little bit bigger, and I wanted the heart to resemble a little bit like the Apple logo, but it's a heart with an arrow through it. The letters I imported from another app, and then I imported it into Procreate, and then I painted over it to give it a little bit more of a painterly feel. And because the hair of the Cupid is also gold, I needed to have a drop shadow, and even a drop shadow behind the smartphone. So if you use that, then everything will pop out a little bit more. And this is how I painted Cupid 2.0, and maybe I'll do a more elaborate tutorial about drawing this Cupid. And please let me know if you're interested in that, because I'm going to do longer videos, about an hour, and then I'll just do everything in real time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. In that way you won't miss a single video. Drawing is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles! You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and Periscope. You can buy my stuff on Vimeo on demand, Etsy, iBooks, and Redbubble. Subscribe to my newsletter and get free stuff. You can find the links in the description box down below.